Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Monday. I hope you're all doing well on this chilly day, at least where I am on the East Coast. Um, this week is a little strange week, of course, because tomorrow is um, election day and the university will be closed. So I am posting your video a little early this week. Also, this week, of course, we have a lot going on between the review of your cross-disciplinary research design projects and also residency coming up this weekend. So busy week. Let me just review some of the things that are going on. You would have received from me already a reminder about this week and how the different meetings with Dr. Lee or myself are happening this week. They're on different days, different times, and I've put that into the announcement I just sent you not long ago. I want to remind everyone that everyone is required to be at each session to review each other's presentations, also to provide feedback. Please be prepared to fit your presentation into your time period that you have available, and also leave some time for questions. Remember, the presentation is to focus on research design, not so much about the health problem that you've chosen. So try to keep the background material to a minimum so we can get to the part that's related to Repco and Stotec that you've been working on. And lastly, each student will be required to provide feedback to the other students just in your group. So if you're in a group of 4 or 5, you will just be providing feedback to those people. And this is in the grading rubric, but I've also put it into the email that I sent you. What you will do is you will prepare this and post it to the discussion board that's listed here. Session 10, present your feedback, so that everyone can get feedback. Remember that your feedback should be constructive and it's also going to be public. So please think about how you're writing and how you're responding to your classmates. All in all, I'm really looking forward to this week to hear your presentations. And also, I think actually these smaller groups are going to be an improvement over what we've done in the past, which was everyone present in a very large group. It took a lot of time, but I think this is going to work out well. I also want to draw your attention to the schedule for this weekend residency. Sorry, which I put in, sorry, put it wrong place. In the weekly session folder under residency 2, it's here. So go to residency weekend 2 in your sessions, and as you see, I tried to put the entire schedule there, both for 8103 and nursing 8452, but also the other things going on. And you can see that all the links are there as well. Also, I'm very excited because we're going to be having 2 of our doctoral students presenting this weekend. The first one is Kevin Boogan. He'll be defending his dissertation at the end of December. So he's going to be giving you a sort of a quick and dirty overview of the work that he's been doing. It's been quite a good study, and I think you're going to find it fascinating. I think also his work in cross-disciplinary integration and FDA reviews is going to make sense to you as you see how he's tried to imagine how knowledge is integrated at the FDA in different types of reviews that they do there. Emily Balog has been my research assistant for the last year. She and I are working on a project of mine called Motivation, Threat, and Engagement Intensity. She's going to be sharing presentation about what she's learned doing this type of research. She's also going to share with you the process of data management and analysis, and also how she has utilized NVivo, which is a very powerful tool that you'll learn about more later. And the nice thing about these sessions, this 1 hour between 1 and 2, is both cohort 4 and 5 will be together. So we're really looking forward to that. And as you can see, the links are all there to get to the Zoom meeting. We will also have a visit from Dr. Stephen Fury, who you remember back in the early part of the semester. You watched a little bit of a presentation he gave at the National Academies of Science, and he's going to be here talking about the connection between team science and cross-disciplinary work. And this will be right after we have sort of a breakout about your group 1 assignment and have more time to sort of unpack what those assignments mean or meant to you and how they sort of will hopefully guide your work in the future. So we want you to come prepared at 3:30 with some questions for Dr. Fiore. He is, as you can read here, an international expert in the area of team science. He's also the Cognitive Sciences Laboratory Director at the University of Central Florida. So it's a really interesting week. I think we're going to have a good time on the weekend because really there's not so much work to present on the weekend, but rather an opportunity to hear some people think creatively, ask questions. So I think it's going to be a really great Saturday for us. So back to where we are in the course, let's go to the weekly sessions and look to this week, which is, as soon as I find it, sessions 10 and 11, which start this Thursday. These are the sessions that are a continuation of the last session that spoke to convergence research. So let's go back for a second. I'm sorry, these are very long, to session 9. And this week, you are in the middle of learning a little bit about convergence research. So there's been a phenomena across many organizations and also research institutes that are looking much more closely and with much more intentionality at the concept of cross-disciplinary research and what it means. The National Science Foundation is one of those places that has made quite a concerted effort to start to try and understand how science can be better served through cross-disciplinary, integrated, and what they call convergence research. So we gave you some readings here, but basically the bottom line about convergence research is that it's driven by specific and compelling problems. That's not that different than the way we have done research up till now. And what you've heard about is in your other courses and in this course is about complex, wicked problems, possibly. You're used to that term by now, but also the deep integration across disciplines. And there was a little cartoon that you, well, not a cartoon, there was a video here that you were able to watch about convergence and how different disciplines can look at the same problems, but look at them in very different ways. That's what you've been thinking about in your assignment 1. So the idea of convergence research, as you know, has 5 major principles associated with it. And we gave you a little bit of reading to do on this. So now that we go into session 10 and 11 and 12, it's going to be continuous. Here we are at sessions 10 and 11. We're going to be looking more specifically at how these different applications affect the problems that you've been dealing with all semester. Now, of course, for this assignment that you will provide at the end of the semester, you're back into those groups that you put together regarding the problems you're dealing with in the other courses in the THS program. The nursing students, you'll be using a problem of your own choice. But the first 2 orientations within convergence research is this idea of a cross-disciplinary approach. You've been working with that so far. And then we're going to interject a new one that convergent research assumes, and this idea of targeting social impact. So research isn't just research, especially in translational science, without some target on how it's going to impact the environment. Now, that environment could be the world, it could be a national environment, it could be a community that is dealing with a particular condition like the diabetes community, or possibly a rare disease in children or something like that. But the idea here is that convergence research takes seriously the idea that research, especially in health, but not only in health, targets society and has an end goal in mind. Now, as you know, in translational research, there are a number of different phases and chasms in which research occurs. But translational health science, the way that NIH embraces it, is meant to make sure that all parts of that cycle are dedicated to ultimate social impact. It doesn't matter if you are a basic scientist and work at a bench, or if you're doing clinical trials, or if you're creating policy. All of those parts of the translational spectrum work in tandem, ultimately to affect society. So the readings we've given you here are sort of two types. One is typically going to talk more so about either methods or philosophy or way of looking at convergence, and the other is going to be more a research paper. This is meant to give you an idea of not only the idea of the orientation, but also how it might be applied. As I said, you're back into your groups that were assigned at the beginning of the semester, having to do with the different health conditions that the THS students have been working on, and Dr. Lee will be working with the nurses about a health problem that they could work on together. And you'll be creating now a plan for how you are going to use the concept of convergence research to work on that particular health condition. So if you look to the assignments, and assignment 3 are the instructions as to how you're going to deal with this particular health condition that you're focusing on in the 5 areas of orientation in convergence research. And for the next several weeks, you will be planning on how we can apply convergence research principles in dealing with these problems. We will have some time, I'm sure, over the weekend to talk about that assignment in a little more detail, so please come with your questions. We also got a question earlier in the semester about the due date, and if we can make the due date a little bit more manageable, especially since it comes around the time of Thanksgiving. We can discuss that as well. Of course, we will see you all week. I see my first group tonight, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And I know everyone else I'll see, or Dr. Lee will see. And then, of course, we'll spend a good amount of time together on Saturday. I hope you have a good week. I hope if you haven't voted already that you will vote tomorrow. It's very important. And I look forward to seeing you all. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.